If you are watching this video, you probably already know that tarot can be a powerful tool for spiritual development and personal transformation. In this video, I'm going to give you an interactive card of the week reading so you know what to focus on this week. And I'm going to discuss reading patterns in tarot and how the patterns we see in a tarot reading can reflect and help us break out of destructive patterns in our own lives. I'm Kirsten Weiss, and I write the Tea and Tarot Cozy Mysteries. I have also written a guidebook on tarot called The Mysteries of Tarot. It's kind of experimental. If you're curious, check out the link in the comments.
So to get started, first pick a number between 1 and 5. Got it? Okay, here we go. If you picked number 1, this is a card of defensiveness, making mountains out of molehills, and petty battles, so beware of all of that. If you pick number 2, this is a card of overwhelm, but it's overwhelm coming to an end. It's a promise that the end is in sight, but it's also realizing that you're making things harder on yourself. If you pick number 3, this is a card of love, romance, and partnerships. And the partnerships could be friendships, they could be business. So look for opportunities in that regard. If you pick number 4, the Queen. The Queen asks us to take on her personality and be like her. Be caring, be compassionate, be down to earth, sensible, and yes, sensual. Enjoy the senses. Finally, number 5, the Sun. This is your time to shine, be bold, and put yourself out there. Speak up.
Okay, I have to admit, when I laid out the cards and was flipping them over, I made some mistakes that I had to go back and cut that part of video a few times. But as I was doing it, I noticed something strange. First, what caught my eye was the pattern of the two wands sitting right next to each other. Whenever I see 2 of the same suit or 3 of the same suit clumped together, it kind of makes me pay a little bit more attention. The same is true if there's 2, let's say 2 fours or 3 queens. Those things kind of get the antenna up. So I started paying attention to it a bit more, and I realized that if I read those 5 cards as a 5-card spread for me, it had a message for me as well. Now, this wasn't my tarot reading, but sometimes the cards will surprise you and tell you things even if you're not really asking. So let me go through how I would read that as a 5-card spread.
Okay, so last night someone said something to me that made me really angry, and I'm not going to go into it because I'll be honest, it was pretty stupid. But anyways, I was mad, and when I laid out these cards, I was still pretty mad about it. So when I turned these 2 up, it really made me start to look at them more closely because they're both wands. And what are they? The first one is sort of stupid battles, so that was obvious. Then we have the card of making things hard for yourself. And I was just reading this Joe Dispenza book talking about if we feel a trauma and we stay in a unhealthy emotional state for a long period of time, the body sees that as normal. It's kind of like water running down a rock over and over, and it finally wears a groove in it until that's just the way the water goes. Your body thinks a thought, triggers a flow of chemicals in the body, which make you feel an emotional response. Then your brain recognizes, oh, I'm having this emotional response, and it validates it, and then it just keeps cycling and getting worse and worse and worse. And if this goes on for months or even years, you can get health problems. Well, I went through, if some of you may know, my sister was killed along with her husband. They didn't have wills. It's all been a huge mess, and I've been feeling very victimized by it, which is not a great state of mind. And I realized this stupid little conflict or irritation was me trying to be victimized again. It's become a habit this year, and I really want to get out of it. And this card reminds me, I'm in this professional organization where I encountered this man for a reason. It really is helpful for me, and I'm putting work into it, and I want to stick with it. The Queen of Pentacles reminds me to feel compassion for this person. He's older, he's stuck in his ways, he's kind of a know-it-all. That's never going to change. So I just need to just get over it, frankly. And then finally, the Sun. I'm doing this work, I'm in this organization so I can shine more, and that is where I'm headed. I just need to stay the course and not let these things bother me so much.
Since I mentioned Joe Dispenza, here's the book I was referencing, Becoming Supernatural. It's a terrific book, and I'm only halfway through it, but it's given me a lot to think about. And here's my book on reading tarot. It's called The Mysteries of Tarot. It's by me. Its subtitle is A Work of the Imagination because it's a mix of nonfiction and fiction. It's kind of experimental. It is a guidebook. It discusses each card in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, how to read it, and it talks about sort of the modern interpretations, but also the more esoteric interpretations. And then in the footnotes, there is a mystery to solve. And if your tarot reading of the week resonated with you, leave a comment.